Welcome back, listeners, to CrimePod Castle. You're tuned in to episode 90 of our Unsolved Mystery series. Tonight, we're diving deep into a case that shook the city of Varanasi back in 2009. It's the story of Rekha Mishra.
Oh, this one is a tough one. A real head-scratcher.
It is. So picture this. Rekha Mishra, a 28-year-old schoolteacher, beloved by her students, engaged to be married, life was good, you know?
Yeah, sounds like she had it all figured out. Future was bright.
Exactly. But then on June 10th, 2009, everything changed. Rekha went for coffee with a friend, pretty normal.
So casual, everyday thing.
Right. And witnesses at the cafe said she was in good spirits, laughing, chatting. Nothing seemed off. Later that evening, she's seen leaving the cafe alone. Looks like she was headed to the main road, probably to get an auto rickshaw.
Okay.
And that's the last confirmed sighting of her alive.
Oof, gone.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
The next morning, her body is found on the outskirts of the city.
Oh, so it wasn't just a disappearance. We're talking about a murder investigation now.
Right. Absolutely. And the autopsy. Blunt force trauma to the head. That was the cause of death.
Brutal.
It is a chilling detail. And to make things even more complicated, her purse and phone were missing.
Vanished. Just like that. So where do you even begin with a case like this? I mean, you've got a seemingly happy woman 1 minute, gone the next, and then boom, found dead under mysterious circumstances.
Right. So naturally, investigators started retracing her steps. They pulled the CCTV footage from the cafe, confirming she left alone.
Makes sense. Got to start somewhere.
But after that, nothing. No witnesses, no leads, no indication of where she went or who she might have run into after leaving that cafe.
It's like she stepped into thin air.
And the missing belongings, right? That screams robbery as a possible motive.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But there's a catch. There were no signs of a struggle at the crime scene.
Huh. So if someone was robbing her, wouldn't there have been some kind of resistance? A fight? Something?
Exactly. The lack of a struggle, that throws a wrench in the whole robbery theory, doesn't it?
It does make you wonder, did she know her attacker? Or maybe she was coerced somehow, instead of being physically overpowered.
It's a chilling thought, but a possibility nonetheless.
It is. Naturally, the police looked into Rekha's personal life, her work, the whole 9 yards.
Standard procedure, right?
They interviewed everyone, her fiancé, her friends, her colleagues, trying to uncover any hidden conflicts, maybe a secret grudge, something that could point them to a suspect.
Understandable. Any luck?
Not much at first. But they did find out about an argument Rekha had with a colleague shortly before she disappeared.
An argument? Interesting. Was it a big blow-up? Something serious?
Well, according to those who knew Rekha, it was over something work-related, and by all accounts, just a minor disagreement.
So we've got a minor work dispute, a missing person, and a murder with no apparent motive. Sounds like those investigators had their work cut out for them.
They did. So what did they do? Well, they started piecing together different theories, each one trying to explain what happened to Rekha.
Let's hear them. I'm all ears.
Okay, so first up, the most obvious theory given the missing person phone was a robbery gone wrong. But as we discussed, the lack of a struggle makes that theory a bit shaky.
Yeah, we already poked some holes in that one.
Right. It makes you wonder, could the robbery have been staged? Were those missing items planted to throw the police off track?
Ah, clever. Leading us down the wrong path.
Maybe. And then there's theory number 2, a targeted attack.
Okay, I'm listening. What makes them think that?
Well, think about it. The body was found in an isolated location, no witnesses.
Yeah.
Sounds premeditated, right?
Yeah, it's giving very organized, very planned. But that begs the question, who would want to target Rekha and why?
Exactly. Investigators explored all sorts of angles. Professional rivalry, a personal vendetta, maybe even something connected to her upcoming marriage. But nothing concrete came up.
It's like whoever did it just vanished into thin air. A real ghost story.
So far, we've got robbery, we've got a targeted attack. Did they have any other theories?
They did. They considered the possibility of random violence.
Random violence, as in wrong place, wrong time.
It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? That sometimes bad things just happen for no reason.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And I imagine it makes the investigation 1,000 times harder.
You're telling me no suspect, no motive. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Absolutely. So that's 3 theories. What was the 4th?
Well, remember that argument we talked about, the one Rekha had with her colleague?
Yeah.
Investigators considered that as well. Could that seemingly minor disagreement have escalated into something darker? Maybe it wasn't as minor as everyone thought.
It seems unlikely, especially with no evidence to suggest it went beyond just words.
True. But at this point, I don't think we can rule anything out completely.
Fair enough. So we've got 4 theories, each with its own set of questions and loose ends.
It's a puzzle, all right?
Yeah.
A puzzle with some vital pieces missing.
And sadly, those missing pieces represent a family's unanswered questions, their pain amplified by the lack of closure. We'll pick up this conversation in part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll examine the impact of this unsolved case and delve into the lingering questions that continue to haunt those who knew and loved Rekha Mishra. It's heartbreaking, right? To think about her family and friends left with this gaping hole in their lives.
It's the not knowing that's got to be the hardest part. To live with that uncertainty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, Rekha's death, it didn't just affect those who knew her personally. It shook the entire city of Varanasi.
Oh, yeah, I bet. A young woman murdered. It's the kind of thing that makes everyone look over their shoulder.
Exactly. Suddenly, people are thinking twice about their own safety, their kids' safety.
Especially in a city like Varanasi. Bustling, crowded, easy to get lost in the crowd.
Right. So, Rekha's case, as tragic as it was, it sparked an important conversation about women's safety, particularly in public spaces.
Makes sense. A wake-up call, in a way. Did anything actually change because of it?
It did. There was a big push for improvements in street lighting, more CCTV cameras in public areas, and a more visible police presence, especially at night.
I see. So Rekha's case, it kind of forced the city to take a hard look at its safety measures.
Yeah, you could say that. Tragic that it took something like this to happen, but hopefully those changes made a difference, even if it's just preventing one other family from going through the same pain.
Right. It's about creating a safer environment for everyone. But, it's also important to remember Rekha, the person, not just the victim,
Absolutely. We can't let her be defined by this tragedy.
Exactly. She was a teacher, a fiancé, a daughter, a friend. There was so much more to her life than just this one horrible event.
Right, and I think that's what makes this whole case so hard to swallow. Rekha was just living her life, and then was taken from her so senselessly.
It's a reminder that we should never take our safety for granted, and also to cherish the people we have in our lives. You never know what tomorrow might bring.
That's a heavy thought, but an important one. It's a reminder that every life is precious, and every unsolved mystery. It represents a search for truth, a demand for justice. And we shouldn't give up on that no matter how much time has passed.
I agree. Rekha's story deserves to be told, and those responsible, they deserve to be held accountable.
Maybe someday, with new technology, or maybe a witness coming forward.
Or just that one tiny detail, the one thing nobody noticed before.
Right, that could crack the whole case wide open. You never know.
Never say never.
Exactly. Even in the face of seemingly impossible odds, there's always hope.
And that hope is what keeps us going. The hope that someday, somehow, the truth about what happened to Rekha Mishra will come out.
And when it does, it'll be a victory. Not just for justice, but for everyone who refused to let her story be forgotten.
A testament to the power of perseverance, and a comfort, hopefully, to those who loved her most.
It's cases like this that really highlight the importance of never giving up.
Oh, absolutely. Every case, every victim deserves justice.
Right. And sometimes it's that one tiny detail, that one missing piece that can make all the difference.
A seemingly insignificant clue that suddenly changes everything.
Exactly. So, to anyone out there listening, if you have any information about Rekha Mishra's case, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem, please come forward.
You never know. What you think is nothing could be the key to solving this.
It's true. That one memory, that one observation, it could be what brings closure to Rekha's family and friends, and finally brings her killer to justice.
It's never too late.
And to those who knew and loved Rekha, we want to express our deepest condolences. We can only imagine the pain you've endured all these years.
It's a pain no one deserves to bear.
No, it's not. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Rekha Mishra's case, we want to leave you with this thought. Rekha's life may have been tragically cut short, but her story doesn't end here.
No, it doesn't. We keep telling her story, keep asking those questions, and hopefully someday we'll have those answers.
We hope so, too. And to all our listeners out there, remember, cherish your loved ones, stay vigilant, and never, ever give up hope.
Hope is what keeps us going.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the unsolved mystery of Rekha Mishra. We hope you'll join us again next time for another journey into the world of true crime. And if you have any thoughts about this case, we'd love to hear from you.
Head over to our website or find us on social media. We're always up for good discussion. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, why not hit that subscribe button? We're always digging into new cases, uncovering new mysteries. There's always something to discover.
That's right. So until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and as always, keep searching for the truth.